On June 14, 2027, I was the night shift operator at the Deep Space Listening Array, a radio telescope near the small town of Gingin, Western Australia. The array consists of 6 satellite dishes which collectively can listen to signals from every corner of the galaxy. Most nights were quiet, endless static punctuated by the pings of distant satellites. But on the night of the 14th, something cut through the noise. I was sitting in the dimly lit control room sipping cold coffee when the main monitor flashed. The array had picked up a faint rhythmic signal, exactly 43.21 Megahertz, just above the hum of the cosmic microwave background radiation. I double-checked the readouts. It wasn't a known satellite. It wasn't a deep space probe. It wasn't military. And it wasn't interference. I'd worked at the array for 6 years, and I recognized those 7 pulses anywhere. They were too perfect, too symmetrical. At first I thought it was interference from a passing plane, except the signal didn't drift. Planes move. This signal was coming from a fixed point, right at the edge of our solar system, just beyond the orbit of Neptune. The data showed it wasn't drifting like an asteroid would. It was stationary. In space, nothing stays stationary without propulsion. My mind raced. Was it a new probe, an alien ship? Then why hadn't the daytime shift caught it? I went back over the previous week's logs. There it was again, the same signal, faint as a whisper, almost drowned out by the static of deep space. I'd been listening for it for days, but I was trained to tune out the background noise. I ran it through our filters. Nothing matched. I contacted the daytime shift supervisor. He listened, then put down his coffee. "I think you should send the logs to Helen," he said, referring to Dr. Helen Armitage, a former SETI researcher, who now ran a small observatory in New Mexico. "She'll have some time on her hands tonight. See if she can make anything of it." I did as he asked, then sat back to wait. 8 hours later, my access to the system was revoked. My phone rang once, then cut off. The next morning, the public servers showed nothing. As if the signal never existed, I thought, but I had already copied the files to a USB drive hidden at home. The next day I played them for Dr. Armitage. She sat in my living room, her face creased with concentration as I rattled off the stats. 7 pulses, 0.99 seconds each, repetition period of 24.6 hours. The signal-to-noise ratio is very low. The modulation is narrow band. It's definitely artificial, but there's no way I can tell you what it means. We stared at the screen in silence. "You know," she finally said, "it's not a language we know, but the timing matches the rotational period of our planet." I felt a chill crawl up my spine. That was no coincidence. A week later, the source vanished from our instruments. It didn't drift away, it just disappeared. 2 months later, the official explanation came: equipment malfunction, they said, conveniently vague. But I know what really happened, because 2 months after that, while combing through old archival data, I saw it. Voyager 2, the Intrepid probe that had crossed the heliopause 3 years prior, had made a tiny unexplained course correction right after it passed through the outer solar system and into interstellar space. No one ever acknowledged it publicly. But I know this. I know what I heard that night in June. I do want to know if it was meant for us, or if we just overheard something not meant to be heard. But I know this, it was real, and someone doesn't want you to believe it ever happened. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, check out more content for more terrifying tales from the edge of human understanding. Also be sure to subscribe for new installments every week. Thanks.